Hi Melinda, I just wanted to give you some feedback on week 2. No wonder it took you a while to get it all in, because you've been really comprehensive in documenting everything with lots of close-ups of those annotations. So hey, thanks so much for taking the time to do this, as some of those other photographs with the whole folio page makes it a little bit difficult to read what you've written. So I really appreciate the time you took to do that. So I've got everything up on screen now for all your week 2 submissions, and you'll notice on the email that I've given you an indication of the result against the criteria, but just keep in mind that this is just an indication only, so you're not getting your final mark until I see the whole folio in completion. So with that in mind, let's just go through everything. Your design brief, you had a chance to do it again, to do the final one for week 2, but you didn't submit it, so I don't know whether you've done that or not. So I've just put up on screen the feedback I gave you from, when was it, back in week 13 of Unit 3. I know you didn't do that, but this was your first draft. So you'll see there, you've got the, you're on the low level at the moment. So if you just go through and make some of those changes, that would be very good, and I can make the adjustment and give you a higher mark. Now we're moving on to the idea generation for your sword design. So what's really pleasing is to see the variation in media and all your different rendering methods. I did wonder whether you've actually done a freehand observation drawing of a sword, possibly not a real one, but a photographic resource of a sword. Maybe if you could spend 4 to 5 hours on a drawing just to show, or really demonstrate your understanding of the proportion and the form and the details of a sword. That would be really good. I think what you need to add here is just more annotations which describe the shape and the form in a bit more detail. And you've identified things, but what you need to do now is just add a bit more description as to why you've made that decision. So you've really got to demonstrate your design thinking a bit more. Remember when you do that to refer back to the client needs and what the audience will be attracted to with the sword design. Something to think about is, are some swords or forms, shapes and details more feminine than others? And if so, does this matter? So you can just make a comment on that. Then moving on to your idea generation for the runes book. I think you've shown lots of different ideas here, which is good. You've drawn lots of different symbols, and that shows good sort of awareness of a variety of sort of cultural and historical sort of contexts that those symbols have come from. But I think when I looked at your idea generation, it wasn't as clear what the final product that you're working towards was. It just looks like different symbols and details. So I think what you really need to do is show some layouts of all these elements and how you see them existing on the page. So, with that in mind, a folio page like this one, you would have, I'll just get my tool up here. I've got the pencil tool. I'm just going to draw over the top. So you would have, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could probably fit 8 different layouts on a page, and just show us, where the heading will go, where the image is going to go. Just indicate sort of loosely, if there's any other shapes where they might go. Just sort of use pencil or colour just to block things in. So if you can create 10 to 15 different layouts, it'll just help to really pull these idea generation pages together so that we understand what you're working towards. One thing I did want to make mention of was that it's clear you're using a lot of symbols that already exist in the runes book. So is there scope for you to be a bit more original and create your own? Even if you're combining different elements of other symbols, that would be fine, but you want to try and really focus on being as original as possible. So I really like what's happening here. You've used a compass and had a bit of a play, I think, which works really well. And, use line with inside the circle. I think there's some strong stuff happening here. that can be explored in design development. And your research, was really comprehensive. I can see you've pulled ideas from, again, such a broad range of cultural and historical contexts. Especially the runes and druidic symbols and all those alchemy symbols, tarot cards. So, it was really good reading through your descriptions of that. And, there was evidence too of some of the literature, like with the Eye of Sauron, the Lord of the Rings reference there with one of your swords that had the eye in it. So, it's very, very strong with the theme, but if you could just add some of those suggestions, that would be really good, and it will sort of bump you up more into the high range for your results, the high, very high. So, very good, Melinda. I look forward to seeing some more work from you soon.